So in the last class, we talked about workflow, right? And it's a good mechanism and very easy mechanism. But starting the winter 23, you will no longer be able to create any new workflow. Okay. So that it will, winter 23 will begin September, October. In fact, it has already begun. So after October, probably you will not be able to create any new workflow. So all the workflows needs to be migrated to flows. We will discuss flows in great detail. But right now, what can we do using a workflow? Saurabh, give me some items which you can do in using workflow.
Sir, we can create task, update field, create email alerts.
Create tasks, update fields, and email alerts. Mainly these three, and one other thing, outbound message. Just remember that. We'll discuss that later. In fact, it's not relevant. It's an advanced topic. But anyway, all these things you can, of course, do using flows. But today's topics is not flows. There is an advanced version which Salesforce released, overflows, which was called process builders. That is also deprecating now. Right? We'll discuss process builder today. And we'll also have an assignment for you today so that you can go ahead and complete that. Okay. So let's before we moving into process builders, what was not possible in flows? Let us discuss this. Flows through flows. Through workflows, you were not able to create any record, right? You were not able to create any record. So process builder gives you ability to create records, any records in any object, right? Second is the workflow gave you the opportunity to update any field on that same object or same record which is firing the workflow, as well as any master detail parent record, right? These are the only two objects wherein you can do any field update. But in process builder, you can do field update in any object. Yeah, that is the benefit. There is no restrictions at all. And there are many more features. So we will now jump into how process builder works. Again, process builder is also deprecated. So do not create any process builder. You will also always should be creating flows, but there will be many projects wherein it will be asked to now migrate process builder logic into flows. So it is very essential for you to understand how the process builder works so that you can migrate it later to flows. Okay. So let us jump into today's presentation. By the way, what is your current opinion about automations? Are you enjoying it, understanding it, having fun with it, or you have not at all spent time with it? How is that looking like? Because automation is backbone for you to work in the IT industry, because you will be hired mainly to do the automations, right? Absolutely essential for you to practice. Without practice, I think you will not be able to work on automation.
Lots of assignment is to be done, sir, from our part.
That's correct.
That's what.
We'll talk about some assignments today. So first, try to replicate what I am showing in the class. Okay, definitely try to replicate that.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And then, of course, I will provide some assignment. Go and also attempt that. So today, what we will do is that an essential feature of process builder is something which we will try to accomplish. Before that, let us understand process builder a little more. So when we have a process builder, this is the portion again in home process automation. You will get process builder. So a essential feature which I told right now is that you can create records, which was not possible using workflows, right? You were only updating fields. So today, let's take a example that you see when you are trying to create a new process builder, it will asking you to create in flow rather than process builder. But of course, today we'll understand how it works. So it is just a bigger brother of workflow. So let's see. So I will say auto create contact. This is my process builder name. Process builder usually it is giving with a space. Auto create contact. When you are naming, please follow this camel case convention. That means every word will start with a capital letter, rest is small letter. It is very essential to remember this for all kinds of naming conventions. It is very important. Okay. Put a description for you to understand later what this process is doing. There can be many things in which this process builder can be called from another process builder. And what is platform event, we'll discuss it later. I think today we'll talk about how when a record changes, how we can fire automation. So I will select the first option. Similarly, how it works with like in workflow, or record, when a record changes, then only it fires, right? Similarly, this is also happens either when a record is getting created or record is getting updated. At that time, you can fire a process builder. Okay. Both workflow and process builder gets fired when the record is already saved into database. Okay, that means the values is already available in the database. Please remember that. So first and foremost, we have to select which object on which I want to fire. So I want to create the automatic contact when an account is already getting created. So this will only fire when the record is getting created. Okay, you can also fire when the record is getting created or edited. That is also possible, right? So let us create the automatic account when the account is getting created. So it will only fire when the first account is getting created. What is the criteria? Do you want to create a criteria? Let's create a criteria. Active accounts or check active. Yeah. What is check active? Check active means I will just test. This is the triangular box, means it is making a decision. Okay. So which object is firing it? What is the decision? So decision is the condition which I had to apply. So I have a field in account that is called the pick list active. So equal to, I will say yes. It will only fire, and it will check that the account record is getting created and the account is active or not. I can put other condition also. You can put an and or whatever, or you can put complicated condition also using customized list. So let us keep it simple. And this is the add action. Add action is actually what is happening. So same like a workflow, just only that it is in a different place. That's it. So remember that. So you have a lot of options now, right? Many things you can do here. Update records, create record, anything. So let us create a record this time, so which was not possible. So I will create a contact. What kind of record is called contact? So when you select a contact, the last name automatically is grayed out and it is showing up. Why it is showing up? Any reasons? Can somebody tell?
Last name is mandatory.
That's good. Absolutely. Last name is mandatory. But of course, that does not stop me to fill up other fields. I will of course fill up the first name. Yeah. And the very important part is that when a contact is getting created, I want to associate that with the account also, right? The account which is getting created. That should be the parent of that contact. So how will I do that? Which field to update? Which field of account of the contact object will associate me with the account?
Sir, account name.
Account name bole kono field নেই, হাতে কলমে কাজ করছো না। When you are working with automation, it's very critical to remember the name of the what field. What I told it many times. It is very important to remember the name of your APIs. Account name is the field label. This is only shows in the UI. It is not actually used. You are basically associating this with the account ID. You're forgetting things, guys. You have to remember. Keep on
Actually,
updating.
I was about to say context, but I was not sure. That's why I didn't say it.
Yeah. So important part is that how do we associate? We associate using the account ID. An account ID is expecting a ID value. Last time is expecting a string value. First time is expecting a string value. So I can, of course, hard code something. If I do this, there is no need to give any quotations. If I hard code a value, first name will have a auto. But every time, all accounts will create first name as auto. And if I in last time also I give something like contact. So all if any account I create is like there are 10 accounts which will when I create all the 10 accounts the contact will be auto contact. Right? So I will not have any differentiation. I will not understand which contact belongs to which account. I have to go and check the account ID, then only I will understand. It's not very good. I want to dynamically change the value, right? So one, I am putting a string auto string. The next one, I am using a formula. So I can build a formula here. What formula I want to build? I want to insert a field. What is? I want to change the last name based on the account. Account name, class. I will put a hyphen. Then I will put this is my formula. So account name hyphen contact. Use formula is important. I click it. So now it comes here. Account ID is expecting a 18 character, 15 character Salesforce ID. I don't have anything, right? It will be dynamic. So rather than using this, I will use a field reference. I will fill up from the account ID. Who is firing the flow? Of course, the account record is firing the flow, and that same account ID I am also inserting into this field. Is it clear to everybody? Any confusion so far? So I have made this dynamic. I have created a formula and assigning this to the field. I have the option to hard code value. In that case, I have used string. I have the opportunity to directly use a field value into any of the field. So I have used the field reference. Okay. So either of these things will be using global constant. Very rarely will use. So let's save it now. And then we have to activate. And that's it. So our first process builder is created. Let's now test it. If I don't give anything, will the process fire or not? The active. No, so let us save. So what will happen now? You see, there is automatically a contact created. And what this contact is doing, if you check this, it is taking my account name, process builder test, and adding a hyphen contact to it, right? And first name is auto. Auto. This is C. Auto is the first name. Last name is, and the account name is also filled up because account ID has been already associated. Any questions so far? Similarly, through process builder, you can like update fields on contacts, update fields on anything, right? So like check active, you can put other criteria here, yeah. And when you are doing basically changing this will create a version on top of that. So like I will say clone. When you are cloning, if you want to make changes on this, what you need to do, you can create a new process altogether, then you have to, of course, rename the process. Or you can create a version on the current process. Usually I am changing the same version, so I will create a version on this process. So instead of auto, I will auto PB. Auto PB is my first name. I want to save this. Yeah, so I made some changes. I can activate it back. And you can see the versions also. If you go to process builders, here is the process builder. You will see this, it shows up, but you can break this and you will see version 1 and version 2. There are two versions. The second version is activated, right? How will that work now? If I now create a new account, PB test 2, activate it, serial number. So see, now it has changed. Now the contact looks like something like this. Auto PB and PB test 2 hyphen contact. So now the changes have happened. So I have updated my flow. So every time you update a flow, it will create a new version. And every time you create a new version, you have to activate it. Please remember that. Otherwise, the older version will remain active. You will not be able to see the changes or the effect of the changes which you have made in the logic. Okay. So now we have all heard about flows. So let's discuss flows in great detail. Or do you want to do flow in a different day? Tell me. I don't want to overwhelm yourselves.
Sir, on different days, sir.
On a different day? Okay.
Yes.
So you go ahead and like practice this flow and process builder very well. Before that, I want you guys to do the assignment. Just first do whatever I showed in the class. And again, I will go back to our assignment. Am I showing my screen?
No, sir.
Give me one second. No, I think assignment will need you to develop a flow. So I don't think you have. No, I think these will be only flow operations. So that's fine. Process builders, you try to create and replicate whatever we have done in our class. And let us do the complicated assignments on the more complicated stuff. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll stop the recording. now let's go ahead and ask any questions which you might have.